There's something about summer nights. The heat still lingers, the air buzzes with energy, and everything feels just a little off. Like the veil is thin, even though it's not October. Maybe that's why Summerween feels so right. Hey ghouls! Welcome to the Cozy Ghoul Society. I'm your host Anna, spooky girl, cozy gremlin, and a longtime fan of all things that go bump in the night. And today, we're kicking off our Summerween series with a little love letter to this not-so-traditional season of spook. This is actually the first year I'm really leaning into Summerween, even though spooky has always been a year-round lifestyle for me. I first heard the term from the cartoon Gravity Falls, and now it's everywhere. I mean, TikTok is full of Summerween, DIY jack-o'-melons, haunted beach parties, skeletons and sunglasses. And I realized, wait, this is literally my vibe. I've always counted down to Halloween way before anyone else. Like, once July hits, and if you guys know me, you know that this is true, I started feeling it in my bones. And growing up in the desert, it weirdly makes sense to me. We didn't have a big seasonal change, but honestly, our big seasonal change was summer, winter. So summer was when I really imagined the coziness that fall brings. I'd close the blinds, light a fall candle in 100-degree heat, and pretend I lived in a spooky little cottage in the woods. And now that aesthetic has a name, Summerween. And honestly, it's such a vibe for me. So if you don't know, I have run a blog for years now called Cozy Harvest. It's on Instagram if you guys want to go look it up. It comes alive every August, and it's like a ghost popping out of a leaf pile. I post all things spooky, seasonal, autumnal, and wintry. Think haunted homemaking meets cozy ghost core. I've always leaned into the eerie softness of things, like wrapping yourself up in a blanket while watching something creepy, or baking a spooky shaped cookies when it's still hot outside. I've never waited for October to feel the magic, and Summerween is kind of the perfect excuse to go full on cryptid in the sun. But enough about my ghosty little lifestyle. Let's get into facts, because yes, even Summerween has a lore. And it's honestly kind of iconic. Summerween doesn't have ancient history of Samhain, but it's picking up its own spooky steam. The term comes from Gravity Falls, which had this amazing episode where the town celebrates Halloween in the middle of summer. They carved jack-o'-melons, wore costumes, tried to escape the Summerween trickster monster, made of rejected candy. It's kind of creepy, but kind of adorable. 10/10 vibes. But honestly, I want to know, if you did watch Gravity Falls, who was your favorite character? I'm a Mabel girly, and I always would compare to myself of the chaos of Mabel, because I just always thought she was the cutest little bean. And then came the internet, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, and they all jumped into the idea of Summerween, and suddenly people are throwing poolside parties, hanging bat garlands over beach towels, and making spooky little spooky little lemonade stands. And it's the cutest thing, because you see skeletons and floppy hats, you see goth girls just living their life. It is the spooky rebellion against the summer, and I am so here for it. Some creators even will tie Summerween's ancient midsummer traditions. Well, like 2 ancient midsummer traditions, like festivals honoring liminal times, sea ghost stories, and fairy sightings during the solstice. There are real stories about ghost ships seen on calm waters, and mysterious lights floating off the coast, and bells ringing from drowned towns. Like, that's insane. So yeah, I do think spooky summer energy is beyond real. So how I celebrate Summerween, and you don't ever need to go over the top, but if you're like me, you might want to. I light fall scented candles at night, usually something like a haunted pumpkin patch or cinnamon bonfire. I will throw on a spooky comfort movie, Coraline, The Craft, Hocus Pocus, Goosebumps. I'll even throw on Charmed, even though it's like not that, I guess, quote unquote spooky, but it's witchy. Or even something like The Twilight Zone, or my favorite, which I might have already named. I honestly think I just named it. Never mind. I'm not even going to say it again, but I also switched to spooky summer reads, and I'm talking like witchy beach books, haunted house thrillers, or vampire romance under the sun, but I actually do listen more to my books. So if you guys do have any spooky summer reads that you would suggest for me to check out, please let me know because I do have Audible and I would love to listen to your guys's ideas. So I make ice drinks with like a twist. I will make lemonade or I will make a dirty soda and put it like in a cute little Halloween or fall glass just to spice it up. I mean, I'm pretty basic though when it comes to my drinks because I'm a creature of habit, but I do go on night walks with spooky playlist. And if I see porch lighting flickering, bestie, I'm going to pretend it's a ghost and say hi. That's just kind of like how I am. I mean, you guys know about my stories that I post on Threads, so yeah, you guys know I am that person. But I do sometimes even scroll TikTok where everything is so Summerween while I'm like planning out outfits, decorating my space, and dreaming of my Halloween costume. I am the one who will start being like, what am I going to dress like for Halloween? And I'll be like, oh yeah, it is only July. Okay, so I wanted to add a little something spooky just for this podcast and add maybe some Reddit stories that we can find that are specifically summer inspired. So kind of just like grab your drink, stay cool, maybe close your eyes and make the room extremely dark if you want to feel like you're having a cozy little campsite. So the first one is by Reddit Reddit user Fernway Fables. It was supposed to be a chill summer night. Me and my cousin Jay and our two friends decided to go camping in the deep woods behind his family's cabin. We brought snacks, stayed up way too late playing card games, and told ghost stories under the string lights. Honestly, it was dreamy until it wasn't. Around 2 a.m., the forest just changed. You ever feel like something's watching you, but nothing's actually there? That's what hit us. The trees leaned closer. It got so quiet we could hear the snap of the twig from a mile away. We tried to laugh it off, but the vibes were off. Jay swore he saw something standing at the edge of the tree line, too tall, too still. I flashed my phone light in that direction, but there was nothing there. Later that night, we packed up and booked it. Back to the cabin. All of us were pretending we weren't scared, but when we got inside and locked the doors, we noticed the trail of muddy bare footprints across the porch. They weren't ours. We checked the security cam the next morning. There was a frame where something glitchy and tall flickered across the edge of the screen. We don't camp there anymore. Oh my god. That is something I think would honestly genuinely give me chills and scare me. I have my fair share of paranormal encounters, but I haven't really ever personally experienced anything when I was like camping or anything. I mean, I camp sometimes, but I'm not really a big camper. But when I have, nothing's really like scared me like that. So for me, yeah, I'd skedaddle. I would be out. So here's our other Reddit story. It's called I Picked Up a Hitchhiker. I Don't Think He Was Alive by Reddit user Weird Little Guy. This happened 2 summers ago, and I still checked my backseat. And I still check my backseat out of habit. I was driving home from my cousin's wedding in the middle of nowhere, like cornfields and gas stations with flickering lights type of nowhere. It was after midnight when I saw him, this guy, standing on the side of the road with his thumb out. Wearing a light gray hoodie and jeans, he looked harmless and kind of dazed, like he'd been walking for hours. Against my better judgment, I slowed down and let him in. He didn't speak, just nodded and got in. We drove in silence for about 20 minutes. I asked where he was heading, and he finally said home, near the lake. The only lake I knew was back the way we came, but I kept driving forward. I looked over and he was gone, just gone. Passenger doors locked, and seatbelt was clipped, but the seat was cold. I pulled over and freaked out, and when I looked up, I saw a faded missing persons sign taped to the lamp post nearby. Same hoodie, same face. I never drive that stretch of road alone anymore. Oh my god, I got chills, you guys. That one is a trip. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like, if you guys had that experience, and if you have an experience like that, please, please, please tell me and let me know. Share your story. And if you guys have any stories, share them, and I would love to read them on here if you would want me to. That's a trip, though. Oh my God. But anyway, you guys, Summerween is more than just a trend. I feel like it's a mindset, and it's about claiming your space for your haunted little heart. And you can have any space of being full of sunshine, not being full of sunshine, and just enjoying your life and being the little spooky person that you are. You don't have to wait for October to celebrate the eerie, the cozy, and the mysterious. You can craft a little spooky night, wear all black in a swimsuit, or vibe with creepy stories with the AC on like we just did. You're a part of the Cozy Ghoul Society now, and I thank you guys for joining me on this very first episode of the Summerween Adventure. I will see you next Monday for another ghost-soaked, sun-drenched story, and remember, stay weird, stay witchy, and stay spooky, even in the sun. Bye, guys!